do you chop your garlic?
I buy pre-chopped garlic.
Isn't that easy?
It's time for creamy spinach and ricotta pasta. Now the recipe doesn't call for any meat, and so what you can do is you can either have some, well, there's several things you could do. You could buy pre-grilled chicken, that works. The library bought everything locally, so we're supporting local businesses. So everything you see cooking with, you can find here in Valley City. These are chicken meatballs. They're already pre-cooked. We just had to microwave them for a couple minutes. You could also, if you buy pre-cooked chicken, you can use that. You can do some batch cooking. Take and put a bunch of chicken breasts in the crock pot, and then shred them when they're done, and then they're ready to go to add to this whenever later in the week. The other thing you could do is take a rotisserie chicken and take the chicken off the bone, and then you have protein for this meal. And you don't have to use chicken. You can use pork chops, shrimp. Shrimp would probably be really good, and even beef. So whatever, and you could use ground meat even, I bet you could add. So basically whatever protein you know your kids will eat, this would be something you could add. So that's all I gotta say about that.
Well, this recipe looks absolutely delicious, and I can't wait to try it. The first thing that we did, Melissa, you want to grab the pasta right there? We boiled up some pasta, and you can use any kind of pasta you want. There's whole grain pasta, but in addition to that, there's about 7,000 different kinds of shaped pasta. We used elbow macaroni, but you can surely use the long spaghetti. You could use any kind of pasta that you would like. And we put a bunch of water in. Probably 3/4 of this container was filled with water, and you bring it to a boil, and then you put your noodles in.
Did you add salt to the water?
I did add salt to the water. So what the salt does is, it's totally optional. The salt purely adds a little flavor to the noodles. Some people say it helps increase the boiling point, but it really doesn't do that much other than add flavor to it. So it's totally optional whether or not you add the salt. If you're watching your sodium, leave it out.
Well, and I watch a lot of Alton Brown, and he always says that salt is a flavor enhancer. So if you're ever, you should taste your food, and then if you don't like, it doesn't have quite the right flavor, add a little bit of salt and it'll enhance the flavors. So I always think of salt as something you use really sparingly just to enhance the flavor.
Right, and there's a lot of different kinds of salt out there, but they all affect your body the same. So,
good to know. So that's fancy pink Himalayan sea salt that's, 10,000 years old with an expiration date of next Friday is still same as that stuff.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so we cooked our pasta and we drained it. So that is absolutely ready to go. In the back, we've got a pot, and I've got a little olive oil in the pot. Now, you can use canola oil if you want. You can use olive oil, you can use extra virgin olive oil. It really doesn't matter. The benefit of using olive oil, it's a monounsaturated fat, which is better for your heart than some other types of oil. Right. So we like olive oil. I poured a little bit in the pan, and that's ready to go. So while we're gonna heat that oil up, but we're gonna get ready to put the onion and the garlic in. And there's some tricks that I'm gonna show Chesney on how to chop the garlic. Melissa, how do you chop your garlic?
I buy pre-chopped garlic.
Isn't that easy? I like doing that as well.
Doing that too.
Have you ever chopped garlic before?
No.
Okay, so this is a ball of garlic, right?
Yeah.
It's a bulb. It's got a bunch of different cloves in here.
Okay.
So we want to break that open.
Yeah.
So how do you think the best way to break that open would be?
Cut this piece off like that and then cut right there.
You could cut it.
Hammer.
Yeah, hammer works actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so what you can do is just break it open with your knife if you want.
Okay.
So we'll do that, and we broke it right open. Yeah, now look, there are all these little cloves in here. It is, and we surely don't want this.
No. Those are not good.
The recipe calls for 3 cloves. Okay, and you can see that there's another piece of skin on here, right? Yeah, so, you can peel them like this. Some people say you can put them in a bowl and you can shake them. But a really easy way is to once again put your knife on here. I'm going to turn it over this way. Put your heel of your hand on and press down on it. And it's going to break the clove open. Did you get it? Oh, try again. There, it sounded better. Try it. And it should be really easy to peel.
It makes a really crunchy sound when it comes off.
Might need to do it again. I bet you can get it easier. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So now what you're gonna do is you can peel it. Good job. And now we're gonna slice this one. So to slice it, we're gonna slice it thin. You're gonna keep the tip of the knife down. Make sure that you don't have your fingers sticking out. They're gonna be like this. And you're just gonna slice it down, okay? And then you can come back up again and slice it down. Okay, slice it thin. And we're gonna actually need 3 of them. So Melissa, if you wanna crack another or peel another, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Good job, that's right. Watch your little fingers there. Yeah, I think that'd probably be good. Did you get it? I think you gotta crack, there you go.
Can we wrestle with the cutting board? I'm left-handed, so you're on the right side.
Did you hear that? She cracked it right open.
Yeah, so this is a pretty smashed piece of garlic.
It'll still taste the same.
Oh yeah.
So they're using a chef knife, which is, could you hold that knife up? That's a chef knife. It's for chopping. And the other one that you just had is a Perry knife.
Yep.
Which is a little bit smaller. Got it? Perfect. So we're gonna push that onto the side because we're gonna cut an onion next. And there's a really easy way to cut an onion. Okay, so do you see this?
Yeah.
Looks like hair, right? I always consider this the head of the tomato, or onion. So we aren't gonna cut that, okay? Oh, yeah. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna actually save half of this, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're only gonna use half of it because it's such a big onion.
Right. So we are gonna cut through the head. So go ahead and cut right down the center. Yeah, so
Onions
it's
are hard to
okay.
cut.
So I want you to hold it like this and slice through like this. Okay?
Yeah.
Now we're gonna save that for the side, okay?
Got it.
Got it. So you can see it's got all sorts of layers. We need to get the red off.
Okay.
So the first thing you're gonna do is cut here. So I want you to hold it like this and cut it down like this.
Okay.
Okay?
Got it.
Yep, you're gonna cut off that root end. Is that knife dull? Okay, there you go. Push that off to the side. Perfect. Now we're gonna peel it. So go ahead and peel off this outer layer. Okay? Now this is a red onion. This is gonna be much more mild than a yellow onion. So I use yellow onions for cooking, dicing, and chopping. I use white onions for like on my hamburger for raw.
Yeah.
And I use red onions for salads.
Yes.
It's a good way to kind of remember the different types of onions. Can you get that?
But I mean, I enjoy, because there's different types of yellow onions, there's different types of white onions. So, you know, sometimes it can be overwhelming when you're at the store going, what onion do I buy?
Right, that's true.
But like,
Good job.
there's so many, and there's like shallots and
Yeah,
so,
green
but as long
onions,
as you
good
have an
job. Get
onion,
one more little bit.
it pretty much works.
The next piece I'm gonna let Melissa do. What we're gonna do is we're gonna slice the onion straight through this way. So she's gonna take the knife and slice it down this way. Do not cut through the head, okay?
Oops.
And if this is scary for you, don't worry about it. She's gonna
Can I
cut.
do more than once?
Okay, and then she's gonna have a smaller dice.
I like smaller diced onions.
Perfect.
And thankful because he doesn't like to see me cry. So now you can see our onion is already starting to kind of separate, and so I'll do one really forceful cut down there, and we've got some nicely diced onions.
Perfect. And I've got the olive oil starting to get hot on the stove.
And I usually don't
So
like that.
we are ready to put in the garlic
The garlic,
and the onion.
the onions, and
Yep.
I'm just gonna take the cutting board over there and pour it in.
Okay. You're gonna add the onion and cook for about 2 minutes. Add the garlic, cook for a little while. We're just gonna get all this done. Now, how do you know when an onion is done cooking?
When it's see-through.
Yeah, when it's see-through. Perfect, Chesney. Okay, so we're gonna use, here, let's grab a little spoon. You can go over and start stir the onion and the garlic. Good job. And the next thing we're gonna add to this mixture is our spinach.
Spinach.
Right. So spinach is really dark green, right?
Yes, it is.
What do you think nutritionally? Which do you think is better for you nutritionally? Iceberg lettuce, which is something you use on tacos, or the spinach?
Well, I've heard iceberg lettuce is mostly water. But I don't know what spinach mostly is, but I would still say, yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
would say
dark
the
green.
spinach.
So the darker the color of your fruits and vegetables, the more nutrients there are in them. More antioxidants, right? And that's really good for our body. So spinach is a really, really helpful vegetable for you. And Chesney, what's one of your favorite ways to use spinach? In a smoothie.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How are our onions looking? They're looking pretty good? I think they're looking great. So are you ready to dump this in? I'll hold your spoon. Go ahead and dump this in. All of it. All of it. Spinach looks like it's going to be a lot, but it cooks down. There you go. So now you can start stirring the spinach into the onions. It's going to give the spinach a beautiful, well, it's going to give the spinach a great flavor. So she's going to keep stirring that, and the spinach will become wilted. And then you're going to know that it's done. Do you know who Popeye is? Popeye was a cartoon character and used to eat spinach to build his muscles, right?
And he had the catchy theme song.
Yeah. What was it?
Oh, you're gonna make me sing it?
Yep.
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish 'cause I eat my spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Beep, beep.
Wow. That's impressive.
Not really.
How's our spinach coming? It doesn't take long to get wilty, does it?
No.
So the next thing we're going to add is 1 cup of fresh ricotta cheese. Now, do you remember that nursery rhyme? Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How's the rest go?
I don't know.
I think you're thinking of Mary had Little Miss Muffet sat on a cup.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Eating her
Curds and whey.
right.
Along came a spider and sat down at the cider and frightened Miss Muffet away.
Of course, the librarian knows,
Well, yeah.
right? So the ricotta cheese that we just put in is actually the whey. So a cheesemaker will take the cheese and he will separate it out into curds and whey. The curds is the cottage cheese and the whey is the ricotta cheese.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
How's it coming? Looks great. Now we're ready. We're going to dump our pasta right in here. So, can you grab the pasta? This looks awesome. Okay, now you can shut this out. What?
I don't know how it works.
Okay, you can set the pot down right here. And then you can take this and we'll dump it right in. How about that? There we are. Now you can stir that right up. Should we bring it over here so everyone can see? Okay. So she's going to stir all of that together. Looks awesome. I'm going to drizzle just a tad of olive oil on top of it. So I'm going to use just a capful and just drizzle. You don't need much. A little oil goes a long way, and she's going to just keep stirring that right up. And there you go. You've got your pasta and spinach mixture. So let's break this apart and talk about what food groups are in here.
Vegetables.
The vegetables, which are the vegetables?
The spinach.
And the
Onion.
and the
Garlic.
perfect. The ricotta cheese fits into what group?
The dairy.
The dairy group. So we have vegetables, which is one group. We have dairy, which is the second group. And then we have
Grain.
the grain. What's the grain?
Pasta.
The pasta. So we already have 3 food groups in this meal. Melissa's going to be adding a 4th group, the chicken meatballs. And what food group does that fit into?
The protein.
The protein group. So she'll throw that in. Now, if we're going to be well-rounded and we're going to make sure that we have all 5 food groups, what could we add for dessert?
A fruit.
A fruit, like a bright colored, what? What's a bright colored fruit that looks so pretty on that plate?
A strawberry.
I think so too. I was thinking the same because we have the green spinach and then we add a bright red, beautiful strawberry, and we have all 5 food groups. If we add a milk, we'll even double up on our calcium.
Ooh. All
I
right.
think that would be great. So you're our official taster, and try that first. Just because we cooked that piece, I want to make sure that you. Oh, I can't wait to try it. Thumbs up, right? Good. Is this something that you think you could make at home?
Yeah.
I think you could too. I really think you could whip this up, and your mom and dad are going to be so impressed.
Yeah.
You know, after you have washed your hands, pulled your hair back, cooked it all up, what's the final thing that you need to do in the kitchen?
This is really important to the moms.
Yes,
out
it
there.
is.
Clean up.
Clean up! Yay!